Hello guys, Bobushik here, and today I want to show you some more clips. First of all, my UI will be a bit different from July 22nd with some extra add-ons so you can see what keys I'm pressing and what's exactly more going on, so I don't have to talk about it all too much. First matchup we're facing is Frost Mage Subtlety Rogue. It's not really that much of a hard setup, but I just wanted to show how the plays are. I play Guardian Affinity as well, and you can see here I play with Renewal as an extra defensive instead of the Feral Charge. I open on the Mage instantly because I know he can't polymorph me, but I want to relieve the pressure a little bit. I kick the poly, Mage pops his cooldowns, I stun the Rogue, apply Bleeds to him so in case he vanishes he will pop out instantly again and can't have a clean reset. I get in the orb, and you can see here my Paladin is full polyed. I pop one wall, completely fine. I bash the Mage here and I Warstorm the Rogue. Why do I Warstorm the Rogue at this point? Because out of the polymorph he can actually sap if he pops his Shadow Dance. But you see then here my Paladin comes out of the polymorph and he runs into the orb. At this point the Rogue makes a mistake and blinds. Blinds instantly breaks from the orb damage. So at the moment we're in a really good spot. I go into bear form and I pop my renewal instantly. Why do I pop my renewal when I'm in bear? Because renewal is HP based, percentage based even, and in bear form you have more HP, so it gives a nice extra heal. You can see here the rogue comes back out because of the bleeds that I applied way earlier into the game. I get bombed, my Paladin runs in completely fine. Mage is about to cast a polymorph and you can see then here that he's having the sacrifice on me, so the polymorph will break. We're in really good shape. I used my walls, renewal, my trinket. My Paladin still has bubble, blessing of protection if needed, and we just used the sacrifice. My Paladin comes out. The mage will be forced to block here, as you can see. He blocks. Rogue trying to get a reapply the ray before the evasion. Really good. We're in good shape. Mage coming out. Rogue pop the Cloak of Shadows, you can see right here, pop the evasion, so I kind of want to sit on the mage a little bit. Want to avoid that he gets a polymorph off, so I pop my Feral Frenzy, get 5 combo points, maim him full because he doesn't have trinket, has no icebox, pumping some damage into it. Pumping my Bell of the Enemy as extra heal. He has a temporal shield, so he will heal up a little bit. I get rooted, cheap shot, and since I don't play with the Feral Charge, I play with the Renewal. My mobility is a bit lacking, but no problem. Kick into 41k Ferocious Bite, a nice big hit. So yeah, 2k MMR, nothing too much has changed, still staying somewhat stuck around it. But yeah, next match now. So the Holy Paladin Assassination Rogue. Kinda waiting out for the Rogue to open on the Rogue, bleeds applied, getting hodged instantly. Paladin dropping insanely low, you can see here he pops the Vendetta, pops all his offensive cooldowns, the Paladin pops his melee wings, and my Paladin is already forced to bubble here, even though I taunted them, they just kept going through it. Cyclone the Paladin here, applying some more bleeds to the Rogue, and the mistake I made right here is I Warstomp the Rogue even though he didn't have evasion up. If he had evasion up and I can actually Warstomp him, he will not dodge because he's stunned and I can Ferocious Bite. So a small mistake by me here, nonetheless quite some damage. Paladin sacrifices, we force Cloak of Shadows. A bit of a misplay by my Paladin, he repentanced into the sacrifice, but all in all it's not too bad. I get Kidneyed full, he bombs, but I'm in bear form. I have the Aura Mastery up, I have Devotion Aura close to me. So I'm designed just to sit this, not using my trinket, not using my walls. I am completely fine. My Paladin lines the repentance of the opponent Paladin, maintaining those bleeds. Not kicking just yet, kick the Holy Light right here. And here I'm bashing the Rogue because I actually want either to force a trinket with the Vanish instead of bashing the Paladin, because he would obviously trinket at this point. I want to avoid that. Doing some damage, giving the bleeds up. Popping tons on myself in the hope that the Rogue would swap off. He swaps off, and you can see here as well he used kick before on the Cyclone I was casting, so he has no kick for the Paladin. Full kidneys him. I'm casting a clone of Paladin, I get hodged, so he can't follow up with the Rogue stance. Can he repentance? But my Paladin hodges, hug the box a little bit so I don't get repentanced. Then big Ferocious Bite, kick the Holy Light, gets repentance at the same time, and then he pops evasion. At this point it would have been awesome if I still had my War Stomp, so I could actually still deal 3-4 seconds more damage. Then a small mistake that I did right here, because I literally thought I could kill the rogue. I trinket the stun instantly, realizing straight after that they still had his blind, so he could actually use it on me, casting a cyclone, full blind. The Paladin could Blessing Protection me if he wanted to, but he felt like he should save it in case the game actually lasts longer. Get Repentance, my Paladin dispels it instantly. I get a re-stealth, because Repentance doesn't put you in combat. Full bleed supplied, good damage. I root the Paladin here, so I want to force either Dispel or the Freedom. He freedoms himself, bash the rogue, kick the Holy Light, and then I get Kidney full. So he uses Kidney defensively, which is really good for my Paladin, so he actually has another 20 seconds, he can just throw out some heals, make sure he's topped off, and then we'll see what happens. He step kicks my Paladin, it's okay, I maim the Paladin here, he jumps down, still get the cheesy cyclone off, bleed still ticking, and we actually managed to get the kill on the rogue. And then last but not least, we're facing Unholy Death Knight, Holy Paladin, former gladiators as well, so we'll see how this goes. Open the DK instantly, pops his Ice Bound really offensively, cast a Cyclone just to force the AMS so I can have it out later. And here you can see casting around the pillar so the DK can't actually mind freeze me. Full clone on the Paladin, doing okay damage. Small mistake by me perhaps, I didn't play with Torrents to assist my Paladin a bit defensively. The Paladin here pops his Sacrifice, his Aura Mastery already. You can see quite some damage, a lot of pets, which is a bit chaotic. They kind of want to go me a little bit. And my Paladin is saying like, yeah, you're taking way too much damage, you actually should start running at this point. I'm a bit too offensive. For some reason I kicked the Paladin, but it didn't feel like it was actually on it. Might have been too late. So yeah, Mind Freeze was cast. My Paladin can actually free cast. I'm running a little bit, and you can see here my Paladin is running the opposite side, and I want to run to this corner. Why? Because I still have my Feral Charge available, and I can instantly leap to my Paladin. He has no Death Grip, so I'm just running it out, staying in range of my Paladin so I can get the heals out. He stops on my Paladin, I don't mind at all. Small rake tick on the pet, making sure the rip is up. Root the Paladin out of line to force that freedom again, or a dispel. Choose the freedom. My Paladin friend trinkets. He hodges the opponent Paladin. I clone the Death Knight so we can just stabilize a little bit. I heal my Paladin up a little bit as well to assist in the healing. Maintaining the bleeds. Rooting the Paladin out of line. Trying to make sure. Another DR root. It was a really bad kick by me, like he already stopped casting, I still went for the kick, so not the best, so I decided to bash at this point. Casting a clone, he has Death Grip but no interrupt and no stun. And at this point he pops the Abomination. At this point my Paladin friend also says like, yeah, just run, just don't take unnecessary damage. We forced actually the bubble, DK was up really low. I don't know why he exactly bubbled this point, because I was not on him anymore. Nonetheless, good for us. Applying the slow. Applying the maim, maybe forcing something more out of this, but they do not. Then I decide I will clone the Abomination to stop the damage a little bit. Reapplying the bleeds. He hodges the Aura Mastery, Blood of Silence it, so at this point, because my Paladin is a Blood Elf, the Blood of Silence removes one magic effect of anyone who's like in it. And at this point the Aura Master gets Blood of Silence, so he's actually vulnerable to get kicked. And you see the bob, I kick it, casting the Cyclone, knowing though that even if I would get the Cyclone off, it's better for us. I do not have kick for the Paladin though, so I'm not too sad about it. They actually use this interrupt already on me. This way my Paladin can just continue free casting. Trying to outguide the Holy Paladin so that Death Knight actually has to come to me. You see me strafing a lot of left-right movements. I trinket this. Get pet stunned again, but it was kind of a mistake because with trinket I actually didn't use my shield wall or anything, so I actually should have chosen to either trinket with a shield wall or just sit it, because my Paladin also popped his swing, so it's quite a waste on my part to use this at this point. You can see here the bash on the Paladin, quite some damage. Use the Aura Mastery, so I didn't use my kick just yet. casting a cyclone on the Death Knight because he has the sacrifice up from the Paladin, and then I decide to run. He will death grip me for sure. Then I start running in bear cat form, trying to outguard it, maiming him DR, staying as far away as possible, casting those regrowths, and we're again somewhat stable. You can see the Paladin is like struggling as well with his mana to heal his partner up. Not that easy. Still having my kick, waiting patiently. And here you can see I drop insane low. The necrotic stacks, like DK in this season is incredibly strong. He's doing about the same DPS as I am, but yeah, like Death Knights in their burst, it's quite ridiculous the amount of damage they can pull off. And I see he has no death grip, so I just kite across the map, stay in line with my Paladin, casting a few heals, hoping he swaps to my Paladin. Full bleed supplied. I bash him to force the Icebound, and I start running again, just until we're like completely stable, till I have maybe like a trinket again or something. Applying the bleeds. Paladin frees himself. I pop my blow at the enemy for the extra crit damage, so it's like a small mini burst. I pop my Zerk as well. I still have my mastery proc as well for my weapon, so going really good. He casts one Holy Light, no problem. A slow Holy Light. Casting the Cyclone instead then, because I see the Paladin has no Hodge, he has no trinket, and he's like choosing if he should either start casting, move away from my Cyclone, but he can't because his positioning is not that great. So I cast the Cyclone, doing some decent damage, and now you can see I'm moving close to the Paladin. He's fake casting the first one because he saw I was getting out, get the kick off. Blood Frenzy for the extra bleed damage, and I actually managed to get the kill. It's quite a hard matchup against Unholy Death Knights, I feel like. We're trying still to figure out, we're still practicing the composition. We're staying somewhat stuck around 2k, which is not too bad for a first week. Like 2k is like mostly former gladiators and so on. Like these guys for example. So the comp is still decent, I feel like, but I do not have any PvE gear on my feral druid, so sometimes it's a bit frustrating to face people who actually like PvE hardcore, like the heroic raid with the Nimbus trinket, or like any kind of tank trinkets, tank weapons, all that kind of stuff. But we try to make the best of it, we try to figure out a decent tactic. But yeah, once again I'll mention it, the July 22nd I'll probably have the add-on called Trophy GCD, which will most likely be somewhere up here on my screen, so you can see actually every global that I'm using my spells on, the regrowths, the shreds, the when I stun, what stuns, so I don't always have to explain it too much in depth, and I can more specifically talk about what goes through my mind, why we CC, why we go offensive. Like in this match we did a lot of running, but yeah, enough of that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed these clips as well, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.